Welcome back to counseling and intervention. We are starting the course entitled Introduction to Crisis Intervention. So, when we talk about crisis, we are talking about the point of no return, a point where things have become so bad. In life, there are some situations that puts a person off, and it brings a person to a stage where this person loses hope and there is no balance, and it's becomes very hard for this person to survive. So when we talk about counseling intervention, crisis intervention is a vital skill set for various professionals, including mental health professionals, first responders, and social workers. By understanding principles and goals of crisis intervention, individuals can provide effective support to those in crisis and promoting safety, recovery, and resilience. So the goal of crisis intervention is to help individuals manage the crisis, reduce the risk of harm, and connect them with a resource for long-term support. So we are talking about crisis intervention, we are talking about the situation where someone has been put off, where situation has come to a place where there is there is less that can be done. In counseling interventions, there are three major interventions that are supposed to be taken. Number one, there is decision making. So, which means that if a person fails to make a right decision, although there may never be a right decision, every decision has got consequences. Now we are talking about the better decision. So if a person fails to make a better decision, it will give birth to what is called problems. So most of the problems that we face, it is because of the decisions that we make. So the problem does not come when you are facing that particular problem. The problems are born out of a wrong decision. So when you make a wrong decision, for example, in marriage, without the better decision in your marriage, you would find that you will incur what is called the problems, and these problems are the ones that now you need to seek intervention. That's why it is very important in what is called decision making. When you are making a decision, it's very much important to seek counselors, to seek counsel, so that when you know what you are doing, you know the decision that you want to make, you know the consequences that will come out of that decision. So now, if the decision is not properly scrutinized and you have made a wrong decision, what comes in is the problem. And you now need counseling in what is called problem solving. So, counseling comes in to help you sort out the problems. If it is in marriage, that is where now you begin to face challenges in marriage, and you need now to work on what is called problem solving. You need to sort out the problems that you are facing in that particular marriage. Now, if that you have not sorted out the problems well, and if the problem fails to be sorted out, then it is going to give birth to what is called crisis. Crisis may be the place where now you dissolve the marriage, you divorce, children are scattered. There is those issues. There are some times whereby the husband kills the wife kills the husband. That becomes a crisis. Now, how do we handle crisis as counselors? So there is remember, the people that we are handling now, they have gone through these stages. Now there are crises whereby someone is found maybe in a road accident, then his legs are amputated. So that is also a crisis. And there is also a crisis whereby somebody has lost something. Then you are saying that, As a counselor, you begin to encourage this person. No, you just have to understand. Do you know what it means to lose a hand? Do you know what it means to be divorced? Do you know what it means to lose a husband? Do you know what it means to lose a child? So that is a crisis. A crisis is a point of no return where a person cannot reverse. So this is the situation that we are going to deal with. But before we start, I want you uh, to imagine like uh, this game that I always do when I'm teaching on this course physically. I will ask my students to write the one something that they love so much, a person they love so much, and the second thing, the body parts they like so much. You mention you write on the paper. On one paper you write the body that you like so much, and on the other paper you write the person that you like so much, you love so much, that you feel you cannot live without. Now, after now you have written that, let those papers, squeeze those papers, then get one, throw it outside or burn it. The one of the papers that you have folded, you burn it. Then uh, now you can be quiet and now you can look at the paper that you are remaining with. If the paper that you have burnt means that you have lost that person or you have lost that part, now imagine you have lost a hand. Then someone comes and tell you that no, just understand. Or imagine you have lost uh, your your husband, you have lost your wife, you have lost your child, you have lost your mother, and somebody comes and tells you, just understand. It is not easy. It's not something that can just be gotten. Now, that is what is called a crisis. Now, when we talk about crisis intervention, you are dealing with a person who is in such a situation. Now, in this course, we are going to look at uh, these topics. In crisis intervention and trauma counseling, your course outline, we're going to look at introduction to crisis intervention. And in the introduction, we are going to look at definition and scope of crisis intervention. Then we are going to look at principles and goals of crisis intervention. We are going to look at the law of crisis intervention. Then in module 2, we are going to look at understanding trauma, which is definition and types of trauma, effects of trauma on individual and communities, trauma response and recovery. Then on module 3, we are going to look at crisis intervention modules. That's where we are going to look at overview of crisis intervention modules, and we are going to look at assessment and triage in crisis intervention. Then we are going to look at verbal and non-verbal communication skill. And also we are going to look at on mode 4, we are going to look at trauma counseling techniques. That is cognitive behavioral therapy for trauma. And we are also going to look at trauma focused cognitive behavioral therapy. And we are going also to look at eye movement desensitization and repressing email. Then in module 5, we are going to look at crisis intervention in special populations. That is children and adolescents. What are the crises that if the child faces crisis, the adults and other adults. And we are also going to look at catch law and diversity consideration in crisis intervention. And we are also going to look at um, on mod 6, we're going to look at group crisis intervention. That is group crisis intervention module, also facilitating group crisis intervention. In this, we have got what is called um, uh, organization stress. You know, it's the situation whereby the organization has faced a big challenge, and maybe there is financial crisis, the bailiffs comes and get things, and all the workers are disturbed, and there is just that stress for everyone. So that is a group crisis, and which needs the intervention. And there are a lot of interventions whereby you suffer as maybe as a community. Maybe there is a crisis that has happened somewhere. Maybe there is in Zambia we have had these experiences, Kuminada, where um, the track falls down and people dies. That becomes a group crisis, a community crisis. So how do you handle such? Then we have got self-care and compassion fatigue. So you how do you use the self-care and compassion fatigue in helping your clients? Self-care strategies for crisis counselors, then recognizing and managing compassion fatigue. In Mod 8, we're going to look at ethical and legal considerations. That's the ethical guidelines for crisis interventions. And we're going to look at legal consideration in crisis intervention, confidentiality and informed consent. In module 9, we are going to look at case study and law play. Case studies of crisis intervention, that is scenario. Then we are going to do the law play of crisis intervention. So you are going to find a situation whereby you need to demonstrate the crisis intervention. Then we are going to have the final project, and we are going to have the summative assessment. So the final project, you are going to develop a crisis intervention plan, cost evaluation, and feedback. So this is what we are going to look at, and I believe you're going to enjoy this lesson. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also remember to inquire for other courses and programs. This is your host, Dr. Tulipo Mwenfumbo. My WhatsApp line is 0976 18 12 56. 0976 18 12 56. 0976 18 12 56. And my Facebook page, it is Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo, and also Tulipo Consultants. You can also check my YouTube channel with Dr. Tulipo Mwenfumbo, and also the um, TikTok. It is also Dr. Tulipo Mwenfumbo. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Join me in the next class.